It's the Your Pet Detective Show with Ardina Seward and Angel Nieves, live stream from New York.
And welcome everybody to 2024. I am Ardina Seward along with that guy over there, Angel Nieves, former NYPD detective who is now an animal, a pet detective. And we're happy to have you on the show. We're happy to have you watching us. This is our first show of the 2024 season. It's exciting for us because you subscribe. You are very faithful as far as watching us and following us. And tonight we have a very special treat for you. We have actress, philanthropist, animal activist, Leesa Rowland. You've seen Leesa before. You've seen Leesa in many Hollywood films. Leesa is a famous, legendary cult film actress. She's a blonde bombshell because she's very aggressive about supporting animals, and she's passionate about making sure that animals are treated properly. She happens to have pop-up ashrams. Angel has videotape. Angel, show them what Leesa does.
Film work and TV work. And she is such a passionate advocate for animals, and she lives a lifestyle. Leesa cares about all animals.
And there's Leesa, who we are delighted to have as our first guest on the show for 2024. Leesa, you have an ashram, and your ashram is a movable ashram because it's not located in one place. It is in Southampton. It is also in New York City. So how will people be able to find your ashram?
Go to our website, animalashram.org, and we'll keep you updated there. We're also on social media and on Instagram if you go onto Animal Ashram.
Now, Christmas time is the season for giving. It's also a time for people to give animals, pets, cats, dogs, ferrets, and come, the first week in January, it dawns on them that they don't have the time to take care of that pet. So at that point, you must be getting an abundance of animals that people no longer want.
You're correct. It happens every holiday season. People give pets just thinking, oh, they're going to love this dog or this cat or this bunny. So cute, so beautiful. You give it as a gift, and that person can't really take care of that pet. So that pet winds up in a shelter. And unfortunately, here in New York City, our shelters are so overcrowded that they wind up in these kill shelters that only are required to, they're so overcrowded that they're only required to keep them for 3 days before they euthanize them.
Which is, it's one of those things that this is a lot of what this show is about, because it's just kind of mystifying that because there's no room, that it just means that healthy pets are.
Yeah, healthy animals, healthy, happy animals that are just discarded. I don't understand why anybody would take a pet to a kill shelter. I mean, I know that there are reasons that you can't do things on your own, but
see, now that you said that, it's a couple of reasons what this is. I mean, this is getting worse, I believe, because of the COVID. People are over COVID. Now they put the animals back. I mean, not you're talking about a lot, a double, I think. But also I noticed is that when people find pets, automatically they put it down. It says, we found a pet, is at the ACC. Go pick it up at the ACC. They send it automatically over there. They don't take the time to actually put up a flyer, find the dog, or what. They just do it automatic. That's why it's so important to have these dogs microchipped.
Yeah, that's very important to have your pets microchipped. Very important. Because if somebody finds your pet and they take it to a kill shelter like the ACC, then it could be killed that day. Like if the pet doesn't react properly and it bites somebody, they can put it down that day.
Or as a senior.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's
It's
kind
so
of mind-boggling when you think about it, because of course a pet's going to act adversely in an unfamiliar environment. Doesn't mean just because the
exactly.
dog nips it because it's a bad dog, but the dog or the cat happens to be frightened. And
I mean, I might nip you if you had me in there.
exactly.
It's heartbreaking
Yeah.
because they all just react the way that they react.
So in terms of your ashram, which is very, very important, because a lot of times, I think sometimes what discourages people from adopting animals is they feel they have to travel either upstate, or they have to travel someplace where there's no parking, where it's inconvenient. But your ashram moves around. So when people go to your website and they see what animals, what pets you have available, how do they fill out an application? Would they be able to get a pet the same day? What are the
It depends on which rescue groups, because we work with different rescue groups also. You know, I help financially. I help different rescue groups here in the tri-state area, and it all depends on where exactly the pet's coming from. If we're doing it for another group, if we're doing it ourselves for pets that we're rescuing, but yeah, we check everybody. We check out potential adopters big time, but yeah, we use a lot of fosters too. So it's not like you just have to. I mean, if you're not ready to adopt a dog or a cat, you can also foster.
Exactly.
And fostering it saves lives.
You have an active career as you're active on the social scene.
Mm-hmm.
You're active as a philanthropist. You're active as an actress. Why are you passionate about animals?
I'm more passionate about animals than acting or writing or anything. Animals are my life. And when I grew up in Texas, and I had an uncle who had a cattle farm, and I'd run out there as a little girl, and I knew all of the different cows. I had names for them all, and they were like cats and dogs to me. They all looked different. They all had different faces, and you run out to them and you get to know them, and then when I was finally told what was happening to them and that they went to this horrible slaughter where they it just blew my mind as a little girl, and I just didn't want to have anything to do with that, anything to do with any of that. It blows my mind that you raise an animal just to be slaughtered and eaten. It just blows my mind.
When I worked in not TV production, when I worked in news as an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
This is just it's a quick side note. As an apprentice, you have to work with a senior camera person,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent us, of all places, to a slaughterhouse in Connecticut. And the cameraman, I was all of probably, I don't know, 21, 22 years old. What did I know? So the cameraman, who was an old man, said, was lifestyle. So the cameraman said, you know what? You have enough skills to shoot this. I have to run to the car for a second, and I will be back. Little did I know that he didn't come back for half an hour, and I was left having to photograph the slaughter process of the cattle, baby, veal. It was placed for veal. And that was it. That was it. The film aired on the network, but it was one of the most horrendous experiences of my career, and I never touched a piece of meat from that point. That's my story, but that's an aside. But what is the most important thing that people either know or don't, or should, I see people should know about animals, about pets, not animals, pets?
That they have souls and that they're sentient beings. Every single animal is a sentient being. A cow is a sentient being, as is a cat, as is a dog, as is a pig.
That's right. Now, you have animals at home, correct? You have
Yes.
pets at home.
Yes.
How many? How many do you have?
I only have one cat here in the city.
Right.
We have one cat.
Yeah. Well,
And he doesn't like other cats. It's funny.
yeah.
The cat that I had before this cat, he let me have lots of fosters.
Oh, people think the cats are cats, but cats have different personalities.
Yes, they do.
People, there's no such thing as a cat. There are cats that like people. There are cats that don't like people. There are cats that like other cats, just as you say. And this is, part of the process of being a pet owner, and recognizing that pets, be it dogs, cats, fish, have different personalities. So it's tuning into that, right? It's tuning into that personality that kind of creates the bond.
Right.
Now, so going forward, do you have any? Do you have a permanent ashram site that you have your eye on, or are you going to continue with your moving ashram?
I kind of like the moving ones because then we get to partner with different people in different places and different rescues. And we do a lot also with like the Woodstock Farm Animal Sanctuary.
Oh, upstate.
Yeah, in Woodstock. We don't just do things in New York City. So I kind of like going in different places.
What animal shelter or animal rescue organization do you get your largest supply of pets from?
Unfortunately, we get most of the cats and dogs that we rehome from the kill list from the ACC. The one that I work with the most is the ACC on the 110th Street.
Yeah, on East 110th, sure. I know that place very well. Yeah.
I mean, there are other ACCs, but that's the one that we work with the most. And we work with a couple great groups that also rescue off of there. There's Second Chance Rescue. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
Animal Haven's wonderful. But they also rescue dogs and cats from the kill list at the ACCs.
Actually,
they don't kill.
Actually, I have a video that your video with New Haven.
Oh, great. Let's see that.
Great.
Let's see.
I love Animal Ashram because you're combining two very unique and important things, animal rescue and yoga, which is people rescue.
One of our groups is actually here today called Animal Haven, and they had adoptable dog meeting people as they were shopping vegan products and having vegan food, and a percentage of all the sales today went back to help Animal Ashram, who helps the animals in New York City. Animal Ashram is an amazing organization because of Leesa Rowland. She is such a passionate advocate for animals, and she lives a lifestyle. Leesa cares about all animals. That's why she embraces veganism.
It's just been overwhelming how much support we've gotten. I want to thank Larry and Leesa for giving me this opportunity to create this pop-up. It's been beyond beautiful today.
I'll be waiting for you here inside my heart. I'm the one who still love you. You will see how I can give you.
Well, that was like a nice gala.
Thank you. We adopted a few dogs at that event.
But I saw a lot of small dogs there. Now, don't get me wrong. In New York City, it's if you go to, it's really no place for Great Danes. Right, it's a good place for a small dog. But what do you do when you? No, let me rephrase that. Do you get large dogs? Do you get the much maligned pit bull? Do you get
Most of the dogs at the 110th Street are pit bulls.
Yeah.
And they're sweet, loving dogs. And they get a really bad rap because of the fighting and things that previous owners have put them into. It's bad owners. It's not a bad dog.
Yeah. But are they hard to adopt out or to foster out? Do you have problems finding people that will take?
We have problems of with landlords a lot because they don't want bully breeds.
Right.
So it's kind of difficult that way. I've tried to, when you reach out and you go look at the apartment, et cetera, and then you talk to the landlord, they don't want a bully breed. That's a bully breed. I mean, they get a really bad rap in New York.
So what?
I feel bad for pit bulls in New York. I guess in everywhere because they're called a bully breed. Rottweilers too.
Yeah, Bodies and Dobermans.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
mean,
hard.
I was bitten by a pit bull.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, right here. It attacked me here
Oh,
at the Broadway show, the one on the Broadway show. They had the
wow.
Broadway bark, whatever. And I was there. I was with a group, and a lady, she brought a pit bull with a 6-foot leash that belongs to the ACC, and they told her the dog is dangerous, but she wanted to bring the dog for I could see it, and the dog was nice. The dog sat down, smelled me. I let them smell me, and then when I touched the dog, it's like from 1 to 10, it leaped. It got me here. She's screaming. And when I went at that day, I said, I'm not going to carry my gun because I'm a retired detective. And I didn't take it for that reason. That was my mentality. Doesn't make sense, right? But that was I didn't want to shoot the dog. So I went, and that's exactly what happened. The dog went for me. So I went for it, and I didn't have it. So when I went for the dog, it laid down like nothing happened, like it was a belly rub. I said, my God, look at this. So a little girl passed by, and the dog got up, and the hair came up to the little girl. And the lady's still screaming, holding the dog. So I took the dog away from her. The dog was protecting me between my legs. I took control of the dog. And then from there, the dog disappeared because I didn't want we quarantined it. And they called me and they wanted to almost like arrest me. They say, we don't get the dog back. That belongs to us. I said, well, how about if I call my lawyer because your dog bit me? Well, we could take care of it. I said, okay, so let's take care of it. And I went to Yonkers to check out the next day. Because if I go to New York, the paperwork is quick. But in Yonkers, it's another county. So it could take 6 weeks for the ACC to get it. Because I didn't want nothing to happen to this dog.
Yeah.
And the dog was adopted out to somewhere else.
Aw, that's a good story. So it turns out to be a good story.
Yes, definitely. Just because the dog bit me, it's not because the dog is bad. It's because the dog.
God bless you for having compassion and understanding.
Yeah.
What about, this is gonna be a crazy question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Do you get reptiles? Do you get snakes?
Not personally at my place. I haven't had reptiles, but they do at the ACC.
Yeah, because that also has become a who knew New York City that it would become a problem with people letting small alligators go and snakes, which have been found in ponds, which have been found in city parks. They're not as prolific as they are in warmer climates, but people adopt these snakes. Some people keep them in not cages, but they keep them in aquarium facilities in apartments. And what starts out this big all of a sudden becomes that big, and they just sort of dump it.
Right.
So those also are animals that are discarded. I think we think in terms of cats and dogs, but we live in New York City. So people come in with a lot of very, very different animals, some legally, some illegally, but these are things that animal rescue people have to deal with. So in terms of your ashram moving around, you talked about Woodstock upstate. How often do you have ashram pop-ups up there?
Well, we do probably like once a year, about once a year with the farm animals. But farm animals, they're so important to me. There's nothing protecting them. The laws don't protect. If you look up factory farming, most people don't even know what factory farming is. I mean, a pig is treated like a product and not an animal and put in this one little cage, can't even move around its whole life. And the only time it ever gets to walk is when it's led to slaughter, where it gets chopped up alive. I mean, it's just so disgusting. Factory farming shouldn't be legal.
But the pigs are most intelligent animal.
They are. They're more
Have
intelligent
them at the
than
beach, and
dogs.
they're at the beach. You put a monkey at the beach, they'll starve to death. You put a pig in the beach, they go fishing. They actually go fishing and eat fish. That's how smart these animals are.
They will survive. Now, there's a lot of controversy about animals for consumption and animals for pets. Speaking about upstate, as you are aware, there is a large farm upstate, a duck farm. I believe it's called Hudson. Forgive me because the name escapes me. It's Hudson Valley Duck Farm. They are the largest duck farm on the east coast of New York, and they produce pate de foie gras. And that has been banted back and forth.
It's the worst.
There was a law, as you
Can't
know,
believe how cry. I know. It's the worst.
but they apparently they have waged the legal fight for a good 3 years. And at first it was banned, and pate de foie gras was banned throughout the country because they're the largest suppliers. And then they argued that the ducks were treated humanely, the ducks were well respected, and that the purpose.
Yeah, right. They're well respected as you're heaping coals down their throat. It makes no sense.
So, do you lobby against organizations like that
Yes.
produce animals for human consumption?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have you been able to engage any political aid, any political figures who have helped out your organization? Because a lot of times you have the New York City Council people, or even people on the Congress people on the federal level who stepped in and said, this is a bad practice to treat animals like that.
We do. And, like I'll say Cory Booker was good with all that. Cory Booker was one person who was good with helping the animals. But no, we don't have enough people. And it's like they'll do something that's good, and then we get set back again. It's a
hard.
step forward and a step back and two steps forward and then another step back. It's constant. You constantly fight them.
Let me ask you one thing. I want to take it to the West Coast. Leesa.
Yeah.
LCA.
Last Chance for Animals. Yeah.
Yes, your spokesperson.
Last Chance for Animals. I started working with Last Chance for Animals in the 1990s with Krista Rose, and we were anti-vivisection, which is when they experiment on animals, live animals, and Last Chance does a lot of undercover investigations at factory farms and different laboratories where they test on them. And whatever they say that they're doing that's humane, it never is. It's, I mean, it is sometimes, but I mean, how can you be humane when you're torturing somebody?
It's a lot of work. I met him in California. I was
Christopher.
over there, and he actually invited me to a party. Had an outdoor party. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this guy's amazing. He is. He really is.
He is. He's the
Very
best.
professional. Very professional.
Yes, and he used to be a policeman
Wow.
in
I thought it was
New Jersey,
a soap opera.
in New York or New Jersey.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He was.
I know he's an actor, right?
Yeah, yeah, but he was a policeman here in the New York area.
Huh.
Small
Well,
world.
he's professional.
So you have that in common there.
Now, do you also advocate for cosmetics that are animal test free?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So your organization is wide has a broad perspective.
Yes.
It's not only to rescue animals and to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, like you say, to educate the public too about different things that go on with the animals.
Especially fur.
Hmm?
Especially
Oh,
fur. There's fur that you could use that's not right. The fox.
Yes. Oh.
I got to know how to say it. Fox.
Faux fur.
Faux.
Faux.
Oh, okay.
Faux fur.
Throw my Spanish accent in there. Faux fur, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is almost the same, but it's not animals.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fur. Same thing with leather.
Exactly. And one of my very good friends and also a vegan designer is Mark Bauer. And he's a vegan designer and one of the primary ones that I use because he's vegan. And he has the best vegan leather and the best vegan fur.
Wow.
His clothes are amazing. You would never know the difference. There is no reason to use animals. And like he says, it's like they call fur a fabric. And like he says, it's not a fabric. That's somebody's skin and fur.
Right, the skin.
But you're calling it fabric? It's not fabric.
Well, it's the old story. If you change the name, somehow that's supposed to change the meaning, but
right.
It doesn't work that way. People aren't stupid. I mean, it's a fur is an animal skin. This is an imitation. This is faux.
And
this is the kind of, if you want it, this is what you wear if you want to honor an animal. This is what you wear if you want to honor an animal, not sacrifice the animal. The argument is, you always hear the argument.
You're right. You honor the animal. You don't sacrifice the animal.
You don't sacrifice the animal. Exactly. Now, your organization is large and growing. You've been at this for a long time. Do you recruit or need volunteers? Because there are a lot of people out there that might say, she's got a great idea. I'd like to help out.
Yeah. Yeah. We love our volunteers. It's very helpful.
Okay.
Absolutely. And just reach out to us online. Yeah.
Now, if people, let's say somebody has a store in Manhattan or in Westchester, and they say, I love what she's doing. I want to have an ashram pop up at my store. Mm-hmm. How much preparation is needed? How do they go about doing that? How do they go about offering their?
It usually takes I would give it 3 months. Usually about 3 months to plan something.
Okay, so they would have to get in. What are the requirements if they have a facility to do this? What sort of setting do they?
It depends. It just depends. It depends. Well, we work with people.
But basically, I'm just trying to let people know, just in case somebody sees it and they say,
it's got to be a place that you can have pets in.
Okay.
And that's not always that easy. It's easier said than done.
Exactly. It takes planning, invitations,
mm-hmm.
probably insurance, but the point is that, it helps out the animals, it helps out the business owner, and it's for a good cause.
Absolutely, it is the best.
So
We
well,
appreciate it.
I saw an interview that you had about your book,
Mm-hmm.
Charisma,
Mm-hmm.
Charisma Factors, and
Right.
you also put it together with animals.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
Yeah, animals have charisma too. You know that. Animals have charisma, people have charisma, and just having compassion brings out the charisma in you too.
yeah. It's a bond. It's a
It,
reciprocal thing. It's a reciprocal.
exactly.
You get their energy, they pick up on your energy. You'd
Yeah.
be surprised. You can even do an experiment with a cat or a dog. You can look at that cat, you can look at that dog, and you can be very calm. And the minute that you tense up, or the minute that you stop and you fix your attention on something, look at your dog and look at your cat. They're doing the same thing. That is
Mhm.
amazing, where they mimic our behavior.
They do. It's
It's
true.
it's it's very profound when you look at it. So when people say, "Oh, that's just a dog, that's just a cat," they are picking up on everything that we do.
I'm
Exactly.
glad you said that because I remember I was in Long Island and they were doing a picture shoot of me and the crew, and they brought animals. They brought snakes. They brought a parrot, like Amazon parrots, a huge one. And I'm sitting down and I'm looking at this parrot, and I'm saying to myself, I hope this parrot do not come to me because I'm afraid if it bites me, I'm gonna lose this finger. And I'm bugging out because the parrot is looking at me, and all I see is two buttons, with the eyes. And this parrot actually walked up to me. And I
Aw.
said, "Oh my God." And the lady says, "Oh my God, he never did this to anybody." And I said, "And it has to be me today." So I let the parrot climb my leg. Any
Mhm.
fly was climbing, and it stood there like looking at me. And I'm still in my mind, I'm looking at two buttons, you know? And then the parrot went back to the owner, you know? But
Uh-huh.
all it's afraid is to lose the finger, you know what I mean? Because they could crack anything. But
Yeah.
it's like what you say, the charisma, the charm, the what
Mhm.
you said to Ordina, they actually pick up
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
and it
they
actually
know.
walks up to you.
They know. They are divine. They just have divine intention. Sounds like too strong a word, but they have divine intelligence.
They
So
do.
we're kind of winding down, getting to the end of our time. And
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to add, Lisa. Anything that I have left out that you'd like to let the audience know.
Maybe more about vivisection. I mean, people don't really, I don't think, understand vivisection. I don't think they understand, but like just for dishwashing detergent,
Yeah.
they test that on animals. They test, um, they just test cosmetics on animals. They test medicines on animals, and it's. I think it's really important to know which products are tested on animals and which ones aren't, which ones are cruelty free, and to patronize the ones that are cruelty free.
Well, that should be not should be, but hopefully that somebody might take up the cause for 2024 to be able to label uh, more prominently
Hmm.
cosmetics that are cruelty free. I mean, wouldn't it be great to be able to walk into a store, fancy schmancy or even low end cosmetic store, and there is a special section labeled cruelty free?
Yes, that would
We
be
don't
great.
see that. We don't see that. We
Sephora
don't.
should have that. Sephora should have a section for cruelty free. You're right. It's a good idea.
Absolutely. And it's very simple. I mean, all it takes is just a sign.
It's a,
It's not a lot of money. It's just, and it would help. At least doesn't mean that the store has to stop selling that cosmetic, but it allows the consumer to be aware and allows the consumer to make the choice.
yeah, that's a
So,
good idea.
But if the consumer does not buy and there's no demand for it, they will actually stop selling it because they're not making money.
Mm-hmm.
but there's always going to be people out there who are going to buy anyway. But at least it makes them aware. It gives them a choice, and
Right.
what the heck? Maybe that's another project, Lisa, for 2024. How about
Sounds like a great project to me.
There you go. There you go. That's that's your assignment or our assignment.
Okay,
I'll
then.
work on it with you.
I'll take that on.
All right. So with that, I guess we are edging towards the close.
Okay.
I always let Angel have the last word, since he is the last word. So Angel, what do you got to say there, brother?
Well, my last word here because I'm not at home. But Leesa, thank you. Thank you for being on the show. You know you have to come back again. And you have my number if anything.
Okay.
People, please spay and neuter your pets. And do you know your pets are? But before I leave, subscribe. Get into this. Watch the shows. Watch this one. Watch all of them. Educate yourself. It's for the animals. So spay and neuter your pets. And do you know where your pets are?